bump, boop. Yeah. Okay. So, um, session 386, not 385. Let me change that text up there. 386. Okay. In this session, okay, let me go back. In the previous session, I was using a Elgato 4K 60 PCIe input capture card, and there was some delay in the latency. There was some latency on the song visualizer. Uh, the notes would display like a second after I played, strummed it on the guitar, which is normal. I just learned about the idea of artificially delaying my microphone, my guitar, and my webcam by a number of milliseconds. Um, I just learned that afterwards. However, I had some problems with the Elgato 4K capture card or use software. The software crashed on me at least 2 or 3 times when I was going through the session. So, with that issue, I decided to return that capture card and get a different capture card. So I placed an order for a AverMedia Live Gamer 4K capture card, PCIe as well. Maybe better latency than the Elgato, but the key factor that I'm sold on the AverMedia is there's no software required for me to run in parallel of OBS. See, the Elgato 4K60 required me to run software in parallel to OBS, and if that software crashed, then my stream from the capture card would freeze, and I would have to pause the song, restart the software, and I just said, forget it. I don't want to do that, okay? If I'm playing a 10-minute song and the software crashes 6 minutes in, I'm doomed. I have to pause the song, restart the software, and possibly restart the song and forget it. That just ruins everything. I'm not doing that. So, for this session, for a couple more days, we're going back to the 30 FPS old school capture card that I ran over 100 sessions with. So, for the moment, you're going to see the usual 30 FPS, choppy, jittery, slow movement, note movement speed. And we're just going to have to deal with that for however many more sessions, couple more days until I get that software, or sorry, until I get that new capture card where I don't have to run the software. And then I could artificially inflate my guitar, my mic, my amp, or my webcam by 36 milliseconds to compensate. So that way, we're going to have smooth note movements on the program, and then we're going to have synchronize my guitar strumming, my audio from the guitar and the microphone to compensate for that delay. So, with that said, it is break time for me. So I set up the stream. We're going to do some Kill Switch Engage Drop C on my brand new guitar that has my name on it. Kyle Abend, Custom Green Dream, Python powered riffs. You can't see the green on this because the green screen makes it like a silverish. But we're going to take a break here. 5 minutes. We're going to do some Drop C, Kill Switch Engage, just like last session. So, with that said, I will be right back. Couple minutes, who knows how long. Not too long, 5-10 minutes. Then I'm going to play some songs, just like usual. You know how sessions go. Let me get my amps displayed. We're going to use the raw. We're going to use the tweed. And that should be good enough. I got a noise suppressor plugin in the background, or noise suppressor Boss pedal. And let me plug that amp in, or my guitar in 1 second. So my song visualizer detects the guitar. You can see, you can see that it says score 0. When it says score 0, that means it detected the guitar. Man, I love this guitar. Okay, so I will be right back. You know, you know what would be cool if I turned my guitar into a controller for this program instead of using a mouse. Have the guitar input frequency going like, okay, string one do this, string two do this, blah 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 blah. All right. I also looked back at my most recent session with this new microphone. It takes some getting used to hearing the strums of the guitar rather than just a direct input. But hey, that's gonna be the style of the video for now. I'm not gonna mute the microphone every freaking track. The background filter does nothing regarding that at the moment. It's always a trick to get that pinky. So yeah, this session's gonna be having to deal with 30 FPS because I don't have the Elgato 4K capture card utility software running like I did in the previous session. Previous session I was trying to get 60 FPS, which I think is achievable. The only thing is latency. I tried to introduce latency, but you know what? I can't tell if the crash occurred because I did lower latency and that lower latency ended up crashing. It's a lot of variables going. But with the AverMedia, I'll be able to have direct input without running additional software. I don't like running that plugin with OBS, NDI source, and the software is required. The software crashed on me two or three times, but I can't tell you when, if I just had a normal latency or lower lowest. too fun. Drop C is fun. Just these are like kill switch engage stuff. That double stop is tricky. I didn't even retune it. Here, let's go to drop C. Okay, this is fun. Okay, I guess I should try to tune it. Tuner. Drop C. This tone is great. It's the bridge pickup. It's just kill switch engage style riff. That's fun. Too many double stops. I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been any harmonics. So in this version of Song Visualizer, still version 0.7v, I added note effect harmonics. And it's a particular note effect, like how recently the palm mutes are dashed. And yes, this is 30 FPS. You're going to have to deal with 30 FPS. Keep saying that for now. But I've been working on the note effects. So bends, slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs. Not the grace is supported. Sometimes there's a grace, and you can tell it's a grace because there's two different stacked on top of each other. Overall, there is much to do. So I guess there's too many double stops on this version. I'm gonna stop it. Breathe Life, you're good. I gotta check out the rhythm on this. I've only tried the lead. But the pickups sound cool. That was on the bridge pickup. I didn't even care what pickup it was on. It seems like any one I put it on, center, lead, rhythm. Well, that's how I think of bridge and the neck. 61% accuracy. So in this version of the program, I made it so that it'll only show the screen if it saves a new one. So the last session I had it showing the screen even though I didn't save it because of 30% accuracy requirement. Breathe Life. Okay, that was Breathe Life. Let's go to Hope Is. Average tempo 71. Wrong pickup. Never mind. It's too fast. Oh, let me start over. Actually, somewhere in there I stopped. I got thrown off by the 6th fret. Threw off my position. Not sure. Let me try again. This one can get fast. This wire is bothering me in between the guitar. Let's try again. cracking. Clipping, I mean. %77 accuracy. I'll take it. That one's fast. Miss. See, one thing though, it's hard to read this in relation to, the whole program's called Song Visualizer, not Song Read every line. It's called Visualize. So I got to work on this, how it shows it. There's many ways to go about it. I could compare the JSONs in a graph, something. Right now it's just a table with song string or measure, tempo, and it's hard to correlate that. It's anyways, that was, let me save the song title. That was 30 FPS on the video because the capture card external. So that was Hope Is 77%. Okay, what's next? Daylight Dies. I'm not even going to try to retune it. I'm just going to look at the score. That's how I know if I'm out of tune. Because I think there's something I noticed here. Is that if the song... No, it's because right now I have the frequencies mapped to JSON for each string and each fret. So I could correlate that to what the note detection is if I hit or miss. 1 second. Got to plug in the laptop. Okay, so I need that. Oh, what was I saying? Hold on. Daylight Dies. Let's go to tempo. Dynamic 88, 85, average. So what I was trying to say is that as I have note detection, I have a real guitar plugged into this program, and it's saying if I hit or miss each note, it gives me a score. If I hit the note, increases my score accumulator or score multiplier or whatever every 10 notes that I hit in a row. So every 10 notes I hit in a row, instead of adding 1 score, it adds 2 score. I'm still thinking about how to incorporate note lengths to the score calculation. I would think that 8 notes should give more score than a whole note, just for the fact that timing, or even the note after an 8th note or note after a 16th note, because that amount of time to hit that note is less. I find those more difficult. So that may have to be, because the way I do the score, hold on. The way I do the score is, well, other than that, +1 until you get plus 10 in a row, and then if you get plus 20 in a row, um, then a score accumulates, but it has to be all in a row. I was thinking if I should just have it so if you miss one, then it just reduces your count by one, so you just get X amount in a row. You don't have to get 100% in a row. But right now, you need 100% in a row to accumulate your credit or your score. And it's still work in progress. I have to have the numbers as integers because I've rendered about 5,000 score text renders, but crashed them before the game loop starts. So let's try Daylight Dies. Oh, what I was trying to say is, so I have two different JSONs for each tuning, single notes and chords. And I gave a lenience. If the guitar is out of chord or out of tune for the single notes, there's a lenience of -5-ish frequency. However, what I'm starting to notice is that I don't think that applies the same to chords, because chords frequencies, when you pluck the string, what frequency it emits in the chord, it's not a simple formula through the current Python library that I'm using. It's not like some form of algorithm that determines, oh, this string by itself has this frequency, and then combined with this other string's frequency equals this frequency. That's not really like a plus algorithm or math that I could see. So what I'm trying to get at is, I noticed in the previous session, a single note chord was off by about 4 or 5 frequency, and that is linear. And the single note, you could just tune the string and get the single note frequency to a certain value. And I noticed if I hit the single note open, how my program would determine that a hit, even though I was off a little tuning. But when it came to the chord, there was no forgiveness, because applying that same logic of looking for a lenience of a couple of frequencies is not linear in a chord value. It's strange. It's hard to describe. But anyways, let's go to Daylight Dies. Double stops again, huh? One benefit of open E, or one benefit of drop C, I have one hand free. Cool. Oh, right. Sometimes that happens. Crash. We're during this song and trying to clean it up. Can't find it. Something, something, something. That's the only glimpse of source code you get. Error string in Python terminal. PyCharm terminal. So far, I think that note detection was good. Let's go to the song stats. Okay, maybe not. I guess it crashed before I saved it. That happens. You know what that means? Play it again. Oh wait, I forgot to do the tempo. It's not 3 minutes. Tempo 85 BPM, 7 minutes. I never played the rhythm for this yet. Well, I was trying to switch pickups each time. I'm trying the bridge for the chords and the lead for the neck. So the lead is thin, or the neck pickup is thin. Hey, it crashed again. At least it's consistent. I think it's dealing with that last note. I changed the way the song ended. Rather than checking every frame if the song time is over the limit, check only when the last note is played. A unique note that is, when deleted, stops the song. But that ended up introducing this bug. Also, the performance window. I'm going to have to just fully dedicate this to Mac and to stop with the idea of trying to improve performance on Windows. It ain't going to happen, and it introduce problems. No wonder Luna only supports Mac. So I'm probably going to just support Mac with this program from here on. Stop trying to get it on the Windows performance because it introduced these problems that I don't feel like maintaining because there's no progress on the Windows. Windows just sucks with this progress. There's just not as good performance on this program on Windows compared to Mac, ironically, for whatever reason. And I don't feel like learning other game engine. I'm happy with Pygame, Python. My guitar says Python powered riffs. kind of loyal to Python at the moment, unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, whichever. Okay, so that was As Daylight Dies again. I'm not gonna maybe I should try to retune it. Let's see if it kept tune. Let's do Life the Lifeless again. 61 BPM average pitch. Let's tune it drop C again. And if you want the audio without hearing the strum, like the microphone picks up the... I'm just going to have to deal with that in the videos. Stick to the SoundCloud for the audio. This is just a direct input guitar. Rendered. can't do that. See how that last note had a blue note, right? The D string, it was overlapping everything else. That's the last note. That's something I haven't quite fixed yet. It's very noticeable. Every time the last note is there, it's always overriding everything else in that same position. Otherwise, usually you see the chords. When there's a chord, you can see each note. If they're sharing the same fret, there's some logic there to change the way the notes are positioned so you can see each color of the string. If it's 2 strings or 3 strings, no more than 3. So that was Life to Lifeless, 79%. Nice. Okay, that was pretty good. 79% accuracy. I got to add in here the average tempos like I do have on the other screen. Not this one, but average tempo 61. Well, next time it's going to take that note log of If I go to stats, December 2nd. All right, see all these 3 playthroughs, December 2nd, 1st. And it says the lead. I have not yet played any of the rhythms for any of the Killswitch Engage songs. Ideally, I would do the rhythm and multi-track. I'm the lead and the rhythm, and maybe even the alt lead. So what I do is I go into the guitar profiles and I modify the arrangement names to say lead, rhythm, alt lead. I just have 3 max. I kind of want to venture into the rhythm, but I'm not sure I want to. Because one thing also that's tough. All right, it goes back to E standard if I hit that default song. One thing that's tough is if I have different arrangements, and right now the tempos are, there's no button that says sync with lead tempo or anything like that. So if I do the lead, or if I do the lead or rhythm and I go to the dynamic tempo screen, they're both going to have their own dynamic tempo differing from one another, meaning I wouldn't be able to multi-track it unless I have some way of unifying the tempos. You know, it'd be interesting if like they would both have their goals of hitting 100% of notes, individually make their own, and then make one that says like a button in here. Oh, I want to multi-track. Like a setting. Go to the settings screen. Maybe an option recording multi-track checkbox. And that will unify the tempos between the arrangements. I'm not sure. See, like this 6 measure sync intro. That's something I added to introduce the first 6 measures having blank notes for the sake of multi-tracking. So it artificially inflates and adds these in each arrangement. So 407 song length, take off the 6 measure sync. 351 song length. See, difference of song length because it artificially adds. It's things for helping multi-track. So, yeah, multi-track requires the same tempo between the arrangements, right? And right now the stats and the dynamic tempo screen are per individual arrangement, and there's not necessarily logic regarding multi-track the tempos other than just going through the guitar profile and having them unified. But I have to have some sort of process that does tempo adjustments globally for each arrangement. I mean, actually, no, that's correct. Because the way I wrote this program, hold on, I'm thinking. No, actually, if I go to alt lead, it keeps the same tempo. Oh, never mind. Okay. Yeah, the way I wrote the program, it opens the song, it gathers all the data when you open the song, and when you switch the arrangements, it displays the notes based on when you hit the start button. And I guess actually the tempo does apply to each arrangement in that case. But I guess what is not there is calculating the tempo for both arrangements. Like, sure, I could have dynamic tempo for one arrangement, but that may not apply well to the other arrangement. Because right now, if I go to the dynamic tempo settings, there's different settings, right? So right now I'm looking at one particular individual arrangement, lead, rhythm, or alt lead, one of those. And this dynamic tempo screen goes through the previous playthroughs for that individual arrangement and adjusts it for that. So it may be speed-wise okay for the lead, but if I try that same tempo for the rhythm or the alt lead, maybe it's too fast for me to hit those notes. So perhaps what I could do is additional logic. Perhaps on this screen, actually, a checkbox aiming for multi-track and have extra calculation to, because like, right, look at the settings, right? Hit percent increase, tempo increase factor, hit percent decrease, tempo decrease factor. And this logic may apply well to the one particular arrangement difficulty-wise. Like I may want to adjust the tempo because of my note hit or note miss ratio. I want to increase or decrease the tempo. But that only considers the lead arrangement because I currently only have the lead arrangement selected. But perhaps I could add additional logic, a checkbox, apply logic for each arrangement. And that way it'll look for rhythm or alt lead arrangements. Like if I'm on the lead right now, instead of just looking at lead arrangements, it'll look at both rhythm and alt lead. And then it'll determine a ratio of tempo based on all arrangements in accordance to these calculations, hits percent. So I'm going to have to figure that out. It won't be too bad. Okay, so I always use this. That's the whole point of me playing this program, right? I plug my real guitar into it. The program determines if I hit or missed a note. I go in this screen, it adjusts the tempo of the song based on my playthrough. Faster, slower. I don't ever remove notes. Every note is there. Just slow the tempo down based on these different settings. Right now, 82 BPM I want max. Okay, let's try playing. Score 0. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to say. Those new note effects that are displaying, those are harmonics. It's like two sides of a rectangle with a circle in between and then like glitters of random note effects above it. That's a harmonic. And I'm not sure this guitar is properly set for harmonic. Like, it just won't. It just won't harmonic right now. The only thing I adjusted on this guitar was the new strings. Didn't intonate, and I didn't do the truss rod adjustment. I didn't adjust the string height. I did adjust pickup height for the neck pickup. So perhaps guitar is not 100% set up, but I'm not going to let that stop me from playing. I'll just miss the harmonics. But enjoy the new note effect, 30 FPS. Let me go to the tuner real quick. Pitch, tuner. Oh, even worse. It didn't detect frequency. Let's see. Try again. That was Eye of the Storm. Do the tempo again. Go to the pitch. Okay. I think that something was up with the note, the guitar input, so I just restarted. Oh, that is out of tune. It's crazy how it went that far out of tune. Like a whole freaking step. Oh, no, I'm kidding myself. I just tuned that to open G. I meant to do drop C. So that's another thing with this program. Sometimes when you go on the screen, it increments the tuning. I got to adjust that. Like right when you load the screen, that's the little tiny, tiny button that says drop C. So I just made it out of tune. All right, let's try. Yeah, no, I didn't do palm mutes the way you're supposed to do palm mutes, right? I didn't mute it all the way. I kind of let it go louder than that compared to the... I didn't want to fully mute it. I wanted to like do like a staccato based rather than the full mute. It's personality, playstyle, whatever you want to do. It's cool though that some of the notes shift between palm mute and non-palm mute. It's really subtle, but it makes a difference. I wonder how center would sound. I haven't tried center. I've just been doing mostly bridge. Eye of the Storm. 76% accuracy. Trying that. Try the next one. Sounds like an ignition. Okay, what's next? Try center pickup just to see how it is. Take this oath. Try again. Come on. There we go. palm mutes mixed with non-palm mutes. I'm trying not to sustain if it says not to. Just wait for the silence. Here we go. Yeah, that I keep having trouble with that double stop as with the fifth string open, muting the fourth string, and only having the third string on the second fret. Oops, second fret, not first. That's not bad. So once again, hold on. Let me just name the track. Take this oath. Just oath and 79%. Not bad. Not 790. Okay, so once again, I'm using 30 FPS screen capture external. So that's why you're seeing not smooth note movement. But I'm going to repeat this story. So I had the Elgato 4K60 for one session, in session 385, the previous one. And I was noticing latency, which I wasn't expecting. There would be my webcam would be show me, and the audio from the guitar and the mic, well, mostly just guitar, and the webcam. You would see me strumming the note. Then a second later, you would see the note actually hitting the finish line. So I returned the device because also I had problems with software crashing, and when the software crashed, I have to run the software Elgato 4K Capture Utility simultaneously as OBS. And that if that 4K Capture Utility software crashes, then the OBS plugin is crashed as well, or I have to pause the song. So I'm opting for I can't even think of the name. Whatever the name is, it's another 4K capture card utility without the need of software. And I just learned also I could artificially add a delay to the guitar, mic, webcam, 36 milliseconds, whatever, to compensate for the song visualizer. So I'm going to try a different program or method of having this, because I'm using a Mac computer connect to a Windows computer, and my Windows computer has the stream. And right now I'm using an external capture card, which is not 60 FPS because it's 4K, and I have to use that dimensions because this program, I have it running in that size. It's a 1900 by 900 resolution in this Pygame project. Perhaps why there's performance problems, because it's such high resolution, perhaps. But I'm sticking to it. And I'm just gonna try that new capture card PCIe slot. Try to get 4K 60 smooth movement, and hopefully it'll be smooth, good to go. And well, there's more I could talk about. Like when I had the Elgato 4K 60 capture card, even though I just tried it one session, I tried on the normal and low and lowest latency. I can't recall if it started crashing when I put in low or lowest, or if it crashed on normal. Normal is safe, it says. But either way, it crashed about 2 times, and I didn't want to deal with the software. I'm hoping that the direct video input capture from OBS with the new, I forget the name, but it's some other capture card. And, well, perhaps I should take a break for this session. Put the guitar down. All right, see you next session.